Today, we're walking you through the install of the AO series clutch kits, covering how to disassemble, upgrade, and reassemble your primary and your secondary clutches. Your clutches are the key to efficiency. Every bit of power your motor makes has to travel through them. By making your clutches more efficient, you'll deliver more power to the wheels, have improved throttle response, and enjoy a smoother ride. Whether your machine is stock, tuned, or running oversized tires, proper calibration ensures you're getting the most out of your setup. Let's get this kit installed and unleash your machine's full potential. Here's the tools you'll need for the install. To begin, thread the puller all the way into the primary clutch until it bottoms out. Once fully seated, back it off 4 full turns. Next, apply a thin layer of moly grease to the puller head. Install the splitter plate and cup by aligning them with the clutch. Secure them in place using the M8 bolts. Now, using a strong impact gun with a 24mm socket, tighten the bolt on top of the splitter plate. Run the bolt down until you hear a distinct pop of the governor cup releasing. If the splitter plate bolt keeps turning and you don't hear a pop, stop immediately. Remove the splitter plate and verify the puller is still out 4 turns. Continuing without this check could damage the clutch. Once the governor cup is released, remove the 4 M8 bolts, take the splitter plate off, and unscrew the puller. Remove the governor cup and inspect slider shoes and hex rollers. Verify that rollers are not worn. If they show any wear, they must be replaced. Be aware that 3 slider shoes may fall out during this process. This is totally normal. Replace these 3 slider shoes and the O-rings behind them anytime the clutch is disassembled to prevent premature governor cup wear. Next, check the other 9 slider shoes. If any are loose, they will need to be replaced. New slider shoes should fit snugly and not move. Ensuring these components are in good condition is critical for smooth operation. All torque specs are listed in the BRP clutch manual, available on our website under the support section. Using the calibration guide available on our website, insert the magnets into the magnet slot. Be sure not to overfill. Flush is full. When adding magnets, whatever you do to one weight arm must be mirrored on the corresponding weight arm to keep the clutch balanced. To remove magnets, use a tool and carefully push them out. For initial calibration, the magnet slots don't matter as much, but for fine-tuning, the slots closest to the tip affect the higher speeds, and the slots closest to the heel impact lower speeds. If you're running our AORC kit, then the slots outside of the clutch affect your machine's engagement. Next, using a T25 Torx and a 5/16 or 8mm wrench, remove the weight pins and slide out the old weight arms. Be sure to keep the thrust washer from each weight arm, as these will be reused. Install the thrust washers onto each side of the new AO adjustable weight arms, then slide them into place. Reinstall the weight pins, making sure each weight arm is secure and moves freely. Continue to proceed with each weight. If you're running an AO green kit, make sure you place the 2 Gen 6 weights directly across from each other to keep the clutch balanced. Place the outer half of the clutch on the compression tool and screw down the tool until it's snug, holding the bearing cup securely in place. Next, remove all 6 screws from the spring retainer. Using the compression tool, carefully release the tension from the spring. Once the tension is fully released, remove the old spring and replace it with the new primary spring included in your kit. Using the compression tool, compress the spring back into place, reinstall all 6 screws, and tighten them evenly to secure the spring retainer. Finally, remove the clutch from the compression tool. Inspect the bearing and the 2 bearing washers inside the clutch. Check for any signs of wear or damage. When lubricating the bearing, do not pack it with grease or unapproved grease. Always apply a very light coat of Topaz Isoflex NB52 grease to ensure proper lubrication. It's important to note that the taper of the governor cup and the mating taper on the end of the shaft must be clean and dry prior to assembly. Failure to do so can cause permanent damage to the clutch shaft and governor cup. Reinstall the outer clutch shaft followed by the governor cup. At this stage, the assembly will loosely fit together. Remember, nothing will fully seat until it's torqued onto the machine, so handle the clutch carefully to avoid it coming apart. Now onto the secondary. Now, using a compression tool or the threaded rod that is included in the KWI V2 toolkit, secure the secondary clutch onto the compression tool. Compress the clutch and then flip over the sheaves and remove the 3 screws securing the helix. With the screws removed, carefully decompress the spring and release tension. Once fully decompressed, remove the old helix. Inspect the spring cup and spring for any signs of wear or damage. To reinstall the GrooveX helix, begin by placing the spring onto the helix and aligning it according to the calibration chart. Ensure the spring is seated securely in the correct hole for your specific setup. As you compress the clutch, use the helix tool to properly wrap the helix. Twist the tool to hold the helix legs off the rollers, ensuring they seat smoothly without flipping past the rollers. Improper wrapping can cause damage to the rollers and lead to future failures. Once the helix is correctly wrapped and aligned, reinstall the 3 screws with blue Loctite for a secure fit. Torque the screws to 45 foot-pounds plus or minus 4 foot-pounds to ensure proper installation. Finally, carefully decompress the spring and remove the clutch from the compression tool. Calibration is what makes your clutches perform at their best. Proper tuning maximizes efficiency, delivers more power to the wheels, and ensures your machine runs to its full potential, even if it's stopped.